What's up guys, Foxman Harry here, and today we're going to be talking about the negatives of the Switch 2. So last time I talked about the positives to why you should buy a Switch 2, why you should buy it, what the good things are about owning one, what the games are like, etc. But now I'm going to talk about the negatives, and we're going to get straight into the video. The biggest problem before I say that, as you can see, I'm still in Mario Wonder because it's great. It's great on here. And guess what? The battery doesn't die in handheld mode very fast. So I can play this game for quite a while before I think, oh, the battery's gone down and it only says 70%. The Switch 2 games drain your battery so fast that you have to remember that in an hour's time, better check that battery because it could be less than 50, it could be even less than that. The battery, I think, is the biggest problem with Switch 2. Easily. Easily the biggest problem with Switch 2. Now, there were some things online where if you drained your... So, if you bought one, you haven't done this, I would recommend doing it because it did improve. I'd say 30%. I'm going to say 30%. So, what you need to do is you need to play on your Switch and you need to kill it. You need to drain that battery all the way to 0, and when it comes up with the black screen with the icon of the Switch is dying, then you need to charge it to 100%. It might take a while, it might not. Charge it to 100%, and it doesn't increase your battery. It's just the percent was wrong because of elements in this world that made it happen. Don't know. But yeah, that is a factor you need to consider. But including that factor, I played Mario Kart World. Right, so I'm playing Mario Wonder right now. And I'm going to say docked mode is not a negative for the Switch. It's a positive. Most of this is going to be about the handheld mode, which the Switch is more handheld than it is docked. They want you to use it in your hand more than they do in the dock. If they wanted you to use it more in the dock than in your hand, then they would have released what I thought would be a cool idea is the dock 1 and the dock 2. Basically what this is you've got a Nintendo Switch dock. Well, you got the Nintendo Switch 1 and then you got the dock 1, which is a Nintendo Switch 1 built into the dock. So you can't play it in handheld, and it's like a PlayStation. You plug it into a monitor and you just play it like that. But that's the thing. The Switch 2 is a handheld console, so we need to criticize the handheld stuff. So yeah, let's talk about that battery. So Mario Kart World drains your battery. I think it's the games and not the console's lack of capacity, because I played Mario Wonder for an hour and it went down to 70. Well, let's have a look. So it's in the dock right now. It's gone up. So I'd say it was at 100%, maybe, because I played it yesterday for an hour and played it today for about, I would say, 2 hours. Yeah, and it went down 40%. I'm going to say that. Mario Kart World drained your battery so fast that I did like a couple of races, and me and my sister we were playing battles, and I hadn't charged it, which is not a good sign. And I just knew that within the 30 minutes, I would have to go and get a charger. And it was like after one match of battles, Mario Kart World Battles, the battle mode, and it said it was going to die, it was going to shut down soon, because it drains the battery so fast. And I do think that is the problem. It's the games. The games are they're good. The games are good, but they just drain this battery. The battery's just not keeping up with the console. It's just with the game. Sorry, it's just crazy how fast that battery dies. It honestly, it is crazy. Let's talk about the other problem. If you're buying one, you have to buy it to play a specific game. If you don't like Mario Kart World, like let's say you don't like Mario Kart, but you love Zelda, but you're not going to buy the new Switch 2 editions, or you have no interest, then you can't play anything. There's no games out. You've got to make sure you have games you want to play. So let's say you're a fan of Fire Emblem. I don't know if there's a Fire Emblem game coming out for the Switch 2, or there is one, or whatever. But let's say there isn't. Why would you buy a Switch 2? You wouldn't. That's it. You wouldn't buy one. And I wouldn't recommend buying it and waiting. Because well, I'm going to criticize Nintendo. I think they should have released more games at launch. The Donkey Kong game looks amazing. Why did they not release that at launch? I don't know. I don't know why they didn't, but they should have. It would have been great. But yeah, there's not a lot of games for the Switch 2. Well, I mean, there are. You can buy a digital version and it will work fine. Well, I've been told that if you bought Doom, because I was going to buy Doom on the Switch because, I mean, I want to play it. But people were saying it was not updated for the Switch 2 because it was made for the Switch 1. Because there's some games that are not, like, they work on the Switch 2 in docked mode, but they don't work in handheld mode. Because the screen plays at 120p. I think. Yeah, I think it does. But then the Switch 1 is only 720. Or less? Yeah, 720. I'm going to say 720. But yeah, that is a problem. The lack of games and the updates for games to be playable on the Switch 2. But if you like Mario Kart, you can get a bundle or spend, well, where I live, £75. And people are saying that's what, $90 in the US? I just can't imagine. That is a lot. Now, I wanted a physical copy. Because if I'm spending that amount on the Switch, I want everything to be physical. Like, I don't want it digital. I don't want to spend £65 on a digital game. No way I'm doing that. Who's there? Right. So, I'm here with a PlayStation person, which is completely irrelevant, but I'm going to ask him the question. What game do you like a lot, Jack?
Super Smash Bros.
You like Super Smash Bros.
Greatest game.
So, would you spend £75 for Super Smash Bros?
What, just base game?
Would you spend £75 for the new Super Smash Bros. That comes out?
No.
You wouldn't?
If there's no sign of it like budging in price, eventually I will get it. But
it would never budge in price.
Eventually I would, but I really don't want to.
Well, let's say you were going to buy it. There's no. We're not gonna criticize you for spending that amount on a game because I did.
No, that's fine. I've paid that much money
but
on a game.
You wouldn't buy it digitally.
Oh no, you'd need a physical copy.
Yeah, you would need a physical copy if you're going to spend that amount.
Yeah.
But, I'm not, like what he's just said. He loves Super Smash Bros. But he literally is thinking about whether to get it or not. The brand new game with brand new characters. Would he get it? He doesn't know.
Well, the thing is, I remember when we got the Ultimate Edition of Ultimate. We had the big box, and then you got the controller. Was that like 90 quid?
Yeah, that was.
So the fact that there was so much more to it, plus the game, and it's only like 15 quid more than the sort of projected price of it.
Yeah, I know.
Is mental. Although if they do announce that every single character that everyone's ever wanted is on there, you could convince me. Waluigi.
Yeah, that would be good. But yeah, that I think they're the biggest elements, the biggest problems with the Switch 2 is the price for the games, so the actual cost to play it, and the battery is horrendous. So
I do think that the game quality is good. Like Mario Kart World is fun just to play casually. Um, and we've seen the direct for the Bonanza, and that looks so good.
yeah,
I'm convinced that'll be game of the year, unless some magic happens and some awesome game comes out after that. I just can't see anyone keeping up with a game like that.
but yeah, they're the biggest problems if you were to buy a Switch 2. Actually, there's one more problem. There's one more problem to talk about. So there is one big. So we've talked about two big negative things, and that is the battery and the lack of games. Now, I am going to say that there will be more games for this. So I will be doing, because this is going to be a 3-part review. I'm going to do an overall review of whether it's worth to get a Switch 2 or not, where I'll be putting all the factors together and then just say if it is or if it isn't. But there, I think the worst thing about the Switch 2 is because the worst thing about Switch 2 is it's not an OLED Switch. Yep, I'm not happy that it is. I'm not happy that I'm not happy that it isn't. I'm not happy at all, actually. Like, seriously, they made an OLED Switch. Yeah? You know the one that you might have on your shelf right now or in your case? Yeah, that's OLED. Or it isn't. But, yeah. But your Switch 2 isn't. Like, and I know why they've done it. I know why they've done it. It's so that people like me buy an OLED when it comes out in 4, maybe 2 years' time. That is why they've done it. But the OLED Switch, not only is it OLED, it is actually better than the LCD Nintendo Switch 1. It is just better. It's got a better battery. It's OLED, so it displays stuff better. And it is just better. Like, it's just better. There's nothing else you could say. An OLED Switch is better than a Switch 1. That means an OLED Switch 2 will be better than a Switch 1. Meaning, an OLED Switch 2 would be better than a Switch 2 LCD. Which means, why buy an LCD Switch 2 when you could just wait for the next Switch to come out? It's that easy. They would have fixed the battery, or it would be improved from what it is right now. There'll be a lot more games. I think the Switch game library. So hang on, how many games is in the Switch 2 library? There's over 12,000 games you can get for your Switch 1. By the time the OLEDs come out, there'll be 12,000 Nintendo Switch 2 games to play on your Switch 2 that will work perfectly. I'm confident that it's going to work perfectly. I can't tell the future, but you'll be getting a better battery, you'll be getting more games, and you'll be getting a better Switch 2. So why would you buy one now? That's the biggest criticism, I think, for the Switch 2 is why? Why buy it when you could just wait? It's that simple. Like, that's the biggest problem. I actually think that is the biggest problem. Like, you know, the OLED, we didn't know an OLED was coming out. Well, I mean, there were rumours and speculation and stuff like that, but I didn't know there was an OLED coming out. But now we know that it is possible. We've seen the Steam Deck OLED. We've seen that is possible. because I knew when the LCD came out that an OLED Steam Deck will be on its way. And it was. It was on its way about 2 years later, I think it was. Maybe a year later. Not sure. But it came. Bought it. Brilliant. It's better than the LCD Steam Deck. It just is. It's lighter. Better battery. OLED screen. Same with the Switch 2. It's going to have an OLED screen. Better battery. More games. And it's just going to be a hell of a lot better. But yeah, that is, I think, the biggest, like the 3 big problems with the Switch 2. Now, I'm going to go into, there are other things that I'm not fussed about, but I've seen other people not liking. And that is, well, the Joy-Cons are just like the old Joy-Cons. They'll break eventually, which is not great. The actual matte black is very chippable, meaning you can damage it really easily. The screen is also damageable if you scratch it by the time. When I mean scratch, I mean like if you put it away gently, it could scratch. It just could. Other things as well. The kickstand's not bad. I don't think the kickstand's that bad, but I have noticed that it's chipped because it's not actually like, they haven't bubble-proofed the end. What I mean by bubble-proof, protected the ends of it. I'll just use protected. So when you stand it out, you're scraping the paint, which sucks. But I don't really care because you don't see that side of the Switch anyway. You've also got the swollen battery issue, which I luckily haven't got. But I want to say hundreds of thousands, maybe thousands of people have the issue. Sometimes you would notice, sometimes you won't. But yeah, they're just little things. I think the dock is brilliant. I don't think there's anything wrong with the dock. Apart from, it's loud. So if you play Mario Kart World for an hour in docked, your Steam Deck is... oh my god. Steam... Well, how long have I been saying Steam for? I don't know. Your Switch 2 is going to be boiling. It's just going to be boiling. It's going to be hot to touch. And that is never a good sign. Never a good sign. But yeah, that is all the negatives. Now, from those negatives, I would advise you not to get one. But then in the last video, in the positive one, I advised you to get one. So what is it? What is it? So in the next video, I'm going to be breaking down if it's worth it or not. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. And remember, next video, I'm going to be doing a overview of both. Now, I made this video, if you didn't know, because I want to post more videos on my channel. And to do that, I need to just do whatever I want. And I want to do this. I just want to say my feelings about the Switch 2. So yeah, right. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Woohoo!